What's going on, everybody? Happy New Year. I hope 2025 does really great things for you. If 2024 especially wasn't good for you this year, hopefully it will be better. And if not, let's watch some movies and try to make ourselves feel better. The thing about most anticipated lists, and I've said this before, is that we can only really be excited about what we know about. There's going to be a ton of movies, especially on the indie side, that get announced, that get acquired at Sundance, which is this month. We're going to hear buzz about all kinds of things. And so there's going to be movies that I love this year that are not on this list. Like, for instance, like almost every movie in my top 10 last year was not in my most anticipated, because I just didn't know about any of them. I hadn't heard about Hundreds of Beavers or any of those movies. And so that's going to happen this year too. So there's always something about the most anticipated list that sometimes rubs me the wrong way, because it's like, yeah, these are like the movies everybody's already talking about, and the movies that I really will get excited about, I'm not going to be able to support on this list because I just don't know about them yet, or I haven't seen them yet, or they're going to surprise me. Those are the movies I tend to get the most excited about seeing, but I don't know about any of those movies yet. So let's talk about the ones I do know. In January, Lee Winnell has Wolfman. When it comes to everything Universal tried to do with so many of their properties over the past 10 years, meaning I, Frankenstein, Dracula Untold, The Mummy, a lot of different movies that didn't quite work out, Lee Winnell's The Invisible Man is a standout, and that's why I am very excited to see his take on Wolfman. In February, Captain America Brave New World is the first feature film with Anthony Mackie behind that shield. He, of course, had his television show, and this time around we get to see Harrison Ford as Red Hulk. Harrison Ford has now officially done everything that nerds love. I mean, he's Indiana Jones, Han Solo, he's Deckard from Blade Runner, and now he's going to be a Hulk. This guy will not quit. But my hopes for this movie rest in two places. Either that we can return to the feel of Winter Soldier, or that we get a new feel that we haven't experienced yet in these movies that's even better. Also in that same month, Paddington in Peru. I love the Paddington movies. Paddington 2 is one of the best family movies I have ever seen, and even the first movie is still really good. This is a new director, and it has been shown elsewhere, though, and people seem to really like it, so I am very, very much looking forward to seeing that beautiful, cute little bear back on the screen again. In April, Ryan Coogler's new film, Sinners, starring Michael B. Jordan. I don't know a lot about this film. I've seen the teaser a few times, and I love that I don't know a lot about it. It seems to potentially be about vampires, at least that's what people have said on the internet, but who the fuck knows if that's true. It probably is, but I assume, having seen his films, that it's going to be a very unique take on vampire lore. And Michael B. Jordan is just one of the most charismatic and talented actors working today, so I cannot wait to see that. In May, Thunderbolts. Now, for the most part, the MCU as of late has not been that great. Deadpool and Wolverine was a nice jump start. I don't know what Thunderbolts is going to be like, but their filmography over the past few years has certainly been lacking. But Florence Pugh in a movie, I'm going to see it. I think she's just one of the most talented actresses working today. Also in May, potentially my most anticipated movie of the entire year as of now, Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning. I love all of these movies. I mean, they're all great. The Mission Impossible movies are basically the best action franchise of all time. They're so good. They all have what have become iconic action sequences. There's something in every single one of them that will stand the test of time. And I don't know if this will be the last one because there's been conflicting reports. Christopher McQuarrie has said that he would like it to be, but Tom Cruise has said he wants to make these movies till he's 80. The title kind of seems like there's some finality to it, but who knows? All I know is I really love these movies, and I cannot wait to see Ethan Hunt on another mission running as fast as he possibly can. Also in May, Karate Kid Legends. This film has the original Karate Kid, as well as the star of Cobra Kai, Ralph Macchio, and of course, Jackie Chan himself, who last was seen in the remake of Karate Kid with Jaden Smith. And so these two guys coming together is enough for me to want to see this movie. In June, 28 years later, Danny Boyle returns to the zombie franchise that he started. I actually have not watched the trailer for this. Everyone was talking about it for a while, and I was like, nope, I'm just going to try to skip it and just see the movie because I am so pumped to see it. Also in June, F1, starring Brad Pitt from the director of Top Gun Maverick, Joseph Kosinski. That sentence that I just said is all I really need. I mean, but it's, it's another form of vehicle that he is tackling in regards to intense action. And instead of Tom Cruise, he's got Brad Pitt this time around. So I am very curious to see what types of incredible sequences he's able to helm. I imagine after doing it in the air with jets that there is maybe a little bit more simplicity here in regards to getting in and out of the vehicle, not having to shoot 800 hours of footage like he apparently did for Maverick. I cannot wait to see what he does with this film. In July, Jurassic World Rebirth. Now, the Jurassic World franchise has not really done anything for me, but of course, it's a Jurassic movie, and so I'm going to want to see it. It just has a lot riding on its shoulders because I have to care about these characters and enjoy the sequences and the dinosaurs, and everyone's going to compare it to the first one, which is just stupid. But even if this movie isn't great, I still have Jurassic Park and The Lost World to be very happy about. Also in July, James Gunn's Superman. You guys probably saw my trailer review for that movie. I am very much looking forward to it. I think it looks great. I have total faith in James Gunn based off of his filmography, and I am very much hoping that it blows me away. In August, there is a currently untitled Paul Thomas Anderson film starring Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't know shit about it, and I did that on purpose, just like most of these movies. I'm sorry, this is probably the most fucking boring, most anticipated list of all time, but honestly, this is who I am now. Like, I try really hard to just go into movies like I used to when I was a kid, like pre-internet, when it was like, hey, let's just go see a film and I don't know shit about it. That to me is the most pure way to go to the movies. And I try to recreate that for myself as much as possible. But just based off of the talent behind the camera and in front of it, I'm going to be first in line for this one. Also in August, Freakier Friday. Of course I'm going to see this movie. I'm a millennial. I love Freaky Friday. I love Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis in that movie, and the fact that they're coming back together. It's going to get all the nostalgia buttons and win a lot of points there, but hopefully it's also a good movie at the same time. In September, Maggie Gyllenhaal is directing The Bride with Christian Bale as Frankenstein. Jake Gyllenhaal's in the movie. It's a new take on The Bride of Frankenstein. So my hope is that this year we can have a really good Wolfman and a really good Bride of Frankenstein movie. Also, tentatively in September, Saw 11. These movies keep going, and Saw 10 was like maybe the best sequel, which is mind-blowing. But for that reason alone, I want to see more. I don't know. These movies they have found the perfect thing with the Saw films. If they space them out just enough, I will go and watch new inventive traps every couple years in the theater, and I'm fine with that. In October, Michael, the Michael Jackson biopic directed by Antoine Fuqua. Him behind the camera makes me want to see it, but I will be very curious to see how they handle such a long and varied story of a life. I mean, Michael Jackson has one of the most unique rises to fame ever, and of course his impact on the music industry and the world in general is basically unparalleled. Also in October, The Black Phone 2. Anything written by C. Robert Cargill, I'm going to see. But I'm also very curious to see how they handle it, because the first one, it ended, you know what I mean? And I just don't know where they'll go from there. And I always think, if I look at a story and think, that's a big challenge, how do you go from there? I'm just curious to see how they handle that. In November, Predator Badlands. Once again, I don't know shit about this. I just know that Dan Trachtenberg is directing it, and he made Prey, which I really enjoyed, so high hopes. Also in November, Wicked for Good, previously known as Wicked Part 2. I surprisingly loved Wicked. Despite not really being a big musicals guy, I somehow really love that movie, and I am very excited to see where the story goes. Once again in November, Zootopia 2. Zootopia is one of my favorite recent Disney animations. I loved that film, and it strangely seems to be one of the last Disney animations of recent years that will probably really have an impact. They're in a bit of a lull right now when it comes to that. Not that everything's been bad, just that there hasn't been anything quite as good as this for a while, and I am really hoping that they can at least equal that film's success. In December, Avatar, Fire and Ash. Do I really have to explain why I want to see? I mean, these movies are gigantic. Anytime I can go to a theater and see a James Cameron movie, I'm going to be there. But the fact that both of them did so much with technology, and clearly all of them have something to do with a different aspect of the environment and protecting it, but also how the action is helmed. He is clearly going to continue the 3D thing, and as much as I don't really enjoy it, he knows how to use that technology, and it's going to be a spectacle to behold for sure. Also in December, the SpongeBob movie, The Search for SquarePants. Look, man, if you watch any interview of Robert Eggers for Nosferatu, somebody brings up SpongeBob's Nosferatu joke. And yeah, I'm going to watch every SpongeBob movie they make forever until I die. And finally, I want to mention a movie that doesn't yet have a confirmed release date that I have seen and is great, and that is Mike Flanagan's The Life of Chuck, his Stephen King adaptation starring Tom Hiddleston and a lot of people, Mark Hamill. It's so good. It's such a good movie. Neon acquired it. They're going to release it at some point this year, and you guys have got to line up for that movie because it is a very unique and distinctive film. It's Flanagan's first foray outside of horror, and it's right there in some of the better Stephen King non-horror projects. You know, you think about The Green Mile, Stand By Me, and Shawshank. The Life of Chuck is such a good movie. It's so heartfelt, but also it is narratively challenging in a very stimulating way to the point where you are engaging with the story every second, every minute, just like all of Flanagan's great stuff. I can't wait for you guys to see that film. It's really damn good. Guys, those are just some of my most anticipated movies of 2025. I can't wait to watch all of them, and I hope that you guys enjoy watching them too. I can't wait to talk to you guys about more movies this year. Thank you so much, as always, for watching, and if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.